Hello my fellow Welt lovers, have you ever looked at a new leak and thought, what in the trailblazing multiverse is this? Because that's exactly how I felt when I opened the full leaked kit for Phainon, aka the physical damage blender, who decided traditional team comps are for cowards. Buckle in, friends, because Hoyoverse just looked at every single gameplay mechanic in Star Rail, put them in a blender, added 5 cups of caffeine and a pinch of madness, and out came Phainon, our upcoming physical destruction 5-star in version 3.4. Now, before we dive into this whirlwind of memory meters, solo transformations, forced enemy actions, and ruin-fueled explosions, a quick reminder, if you love chaotic breakdowns like this, sub to the channel and smash that like button. It really helps keep the content flowing faster than Phainon stacking 12 memory. And as always, standard leak disclaimer, everything here is based on beta test info and data mines, so things can and probably will change. Topping up in Genshin or Star Rail can get expensive, and let's be honest, we've all seen those in-game prices and wished they were just a bit lower. Well, that's exactly what LD Shop is here for. This is LD Shop, the official top-up platform developed by the LD Player Emulator Group. It lets you top up your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Star Rail at huge discounts, up to 23% off or more. And yeah, it's super easy to use. All you need is your server and UID, and your top-up will show up in-game within just a few minutes. It's safe, reliable, and used by thousands of players. You can even compare prices, for example, something like the Supply Pass or a 6480 Stellar Jade Bundle. It's way cheaper here than in-game. If you register using my link, you'll get a 10% off coupon and an extra 5% off coupon, which can save you up to $50 on your first top-ups. Plus, LD Shop gives you the same first top-up bonus you get in-game, so you're not missing out on anything. And if you're planning to spend more, here's a bonus. If you spend over $80, you'll unlock VIP status, which gives you a free supply pass and more perks. So if you're looking to save while still getting everything you normally would in-game, just use the link in the description and get an AXA while saving more. Alright, let's do this. So Phainon is classified as a physical destruction unit, but calling him just that is like calling Kafka a DOT unit. It technically fits, but it doesn't capture any of the madness. The core of his kit revolves around a unique resource called memory, which is a lot like a charge meter that you build through attacking, getting hit, and being buffed. His basic attack is simple. It deals physical damage to a single enemy and grants 1 memory. His skill deals splash physical damage, big damage to the main target, smaller AoE to the adjacent enemies, and gives 2 memory. Pretty standard destruction behaviors so far. But then we hit his talent, and the crazy train officially departs the station. Phainon gains memory whenever he's the target of an ally's buff and whenever he gets hit. That's right, he literally wants to be buffed and beaten. You want to stack crit damage on this guy? You want enemies to focus him down? Even better, the more attention he gets, the faster he builds toward his cap of 15 memory, with the magic number being 12 to trigger his ultimate. Oh, and every time he gains memory, he gets bonus crit damage for 2 turns. That means the longer you feed him, the harder he hits. But then comes the real madness, his ultimate, aka the start of territory mode, also known as domain expansion. I'm the main character now. Activating his ult consumes 12 memory, transforms Phainon, and triggers territory, a solo phase where your entire team disappears, and Phainon goes full JoJo stand battle for 8 fixed turns. These turns don't tick down buffs or debuffs, which means all your support effects are frozen in time. So if Bronya gives him a 1-turn crit buff, that's actually 2 real turns of uptime in practice. Inside territory, he gets 4 ruin marks, a new resource that replaces skill points. Yup, you heard that right. Phainon stops consuming team SP entirely while transformed. This is huge. It means your supports can go full spam mode while he's transformed, and you don't have to worry about draining SP. In solo mode, Phainon gets buffs to attack, max health, damage reduction, immunity to crowd control, and applies physical weakness to all enemies, even if they're resistant. That means he can be taken into literally any content and still break shields. And just to flex harder, any buffs he had before transforming get extended by 1 turn, so pre-stacking buffs becomes a huge value play. Let's talk about the enhanced abilities in territory mode. This is where the fun really begins. Enhanced basic attack becomes a blast type AoE and gives you 2 ruin per use. Simple, clean, reliable. Enhanced skill 1 is insane. It forces all enemies to immediately take their turns, heals Phainon based on max HP, cleanses debuffs, and gives him a counterattack status. While active, Any hit he takes triggers AoE physical skill damage back at the enemy. This move is dangerous and stylish. It's basically saying I'd win to the entire enemy team. Enhanced skill 2 is the burst move. It consumes ruin marks, and for every mark, he deals 4 hits of bouncing physical damage. If you burn all 4 marks, you get an extra AoE finisher. So the ideal rotation is skill 1 to gather ruin and counter, skill 2 to spend and nuke, all while ignoring SP. Then, at the end of the 8 turns, or earlier if his HP drops too low, his auto-ultimate triggers. It's a massive AoE nuke, but if it fires early because you played recklessly, the damage is reduced and you miss out on buffs and uptime. Risk-reward, people. And when he exits territory, he regenerates energy for the whole team and gives everyone a speed buff to re-enter combat faster. So not only does he leave chaos in his wake, he turbocharges your squad for the follow-up wave. Now, let's talk about Light Cone and Traces, because it gets even spicier. His Light Cone gives him 18% def ignore, 72% bonus skill and ULT damage, and heals him after every attack. That's basically designed for a solo mode, where he's doing most of the damage and also needs to self-sustain. He's basically printing HP while nuking the world. Love that for him. His Traces also add big synergy. Trace 1 buffs his ATK when entering territory, Trace 2 boosts damage when healed or shielded, and Trace 3 gives him energy when an ally generates it, letting him cycle faster. You can literally run him with Sunday, or even a hyperactive SP support, and get value. Sunday also gives energy, which translates to ruin generation thanks to the Trace synergy. Let's take a second to talk about team comps. Sunday and Bronya are both strong options, but interestingly, because Phainon stats lock in at the start of his ULT, E0 Bronya buffs more than E0 Sunday. Yup, that's real. Because uptime doesn't matter as much, it's about how hard you can pump him before he presses R. That said, Sunday still has better SP economy and smoother energy flow for most teams. As for rerun synergy, Robin can help pre-buff him, Wanmei can stack damage and toughness shred, and honestly, characters that normally fight for SP like Harmony Trailblazer or Sparkle just get freed up completely. But there are caveats. If only one character can have a territory active at a time, there might be anti-synergy with Castorice or Cyrene if they get released later. We need confirmation on this, but it's something to watch. Also, forcing enemy turns is a double-edged sword. Don't accidentally queue up a boss nuke by mistake. Oh, and the Eidolons? They're cracked. E2 gives more damage and extra turns, E4 adds more power to his skill 2, and E6 gives true damage and refunds ruin after the territory ends. Basically, the more Eidolons, the more degenerate he becomes. So, what's the final verdict? Phainon is one of the most complex, high-risk, high-reward characters Star Rail has ever dropped. He demands planning, proper buffing, and timing mastery, but the payoff is massive. He's like a one-man wrecking ball, and if you execute correctly, he can solo entire mock waves. If you misplay, he flops like Jinglu without SP. This dude is Firefly's evil twin, and I mean that with love. We're entering peak Star Rail gameplay, and I am here for it. Now it's your turn. What kind of teams are you theory crafting for Phainon? Are you gonna go full monophysical, or try something weird with shield bots and energy batteries? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that sub button and join the suffering early. I love you guys, stay strong, and remember, it's not a waste of jades if it's for someone who deletes the entire screen solo. Catch y'all next time, Trailblazers.